This is about reviving our community. So we wanted the commercial property sector to get a good idea as to what happens in the charity world, and we're trying to link the two groups together. Councillor Bessa Mahfouz is a Labour candidate in the Borough of Ealing. He is also an Ealing Labour Cabinet member for safety and genuine affordable homes. Plus, he's got a double hat on today actually. He's the CEO of a Kingston-based charity which is benefiting from rent-free space that complements their own main site that they have in the borough. Keith Morgan is the CEO of Voluntary Action Camden. This is a quote from Einstein. Well, although I'm not sure about social media, you can't say anything's by anyone anymore, really. Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. So trying to explain to someone in asset management who's looking at spreadsheet all day long, or investment managers, and all these guys, a lot of these guys are spreadsheet people, and trying to say to them, you know, you could do something wonderfully different, but I just don't know how to measure it, and this is how the charity sector works, and typically struggles with the work that they do. We have over there a slideshow showing some of the 120 plus charities that we've helped with some insight, so you can have a look around, wander around the space. But what I wanted to do was just quickly cover off on a couple of things. So this is, as I say, is the fun bit. So next slide, please. Keith. So recently, and Camden Council has been mentioned a few times today, they are nice people to deal with if you are a nice person. Let me put it that way. If you are going to try and put a snail farm in their borough, they will eat you alive. However, we've hopefully fall under the nice people category. So we get on well with them and the economics and regeneration team. And I said to them, we've picked up a new office space in Mornington Crescent. Have you got any ideas on what we can do with it? And they said, I think I know just the man. So Keith is now going to talk. He's the head of Voluntary Action Camden. He's been there for 116 years, if I remember correctly.
Today I had my first team meeting at our new office, and I had all my team come down. And as we were going through the meeting, I could see that they were impressed with the space, and I could see that they were thinking, actually, do you know what? I think maybe Keith will be high on the next year's Christmas list, because they were so impressed by the building and the space. And I'm looking forward to showing my trustees, showing the building to them, because I think they will also be equally impressed by it. We're in Camden, and Camden is an affluent borough, which has advantages and disadvantages. One of the main disadvantages is it's expensive, so it's incredibly difficult to find office space, even council-owned office space, that is at an affordable rate, and it's a point of contention for lots of our members. We're a membership organisation. We have 350 members, and at present we're going through a lengthy process of renegotiating the lease, several leases with Camden Council. So we wouldn't have been able to find this type of space that we're in now, which is 3 floors. We just wouldn't have been able to find it on our own. But what it has presented the opportunity is for us is demonstrating our ability to manage, oversee a building which can be of multiple use, bringing different organisations together from within the voluntary community sector, creating a hub of collaboration and partnership working, and I guess being able to showcase what can happen in a space when we've got various different organisations that have various different focuses, but is ultimately there for the benefit of the community. What can happen when we all come together? And so that is the vision for this new space. It's been my plan for a long time that we would have a series of infrastructure organisations, so organisations that aren't delivering day to day to the front line or to communities directly, but are supporting those organisations that are doing that. It's been my long-term vision that we will come together and being able to pool resources, share ideas, and be a stronger voice, I suppose, to advocate on behalf of the sector that we represent and to help shape public policy. So it has been a real opportunity for us, and we've only just moved in. We're still going through a few teething problems. We're still trying to get the internet to work. We're still trying to get the heating to work. But ultimately, having that space for what we hope will be minimum 3 months is going to be a real benefit to us. And I think it was mentioned a bit earlier, we do think that this might present an opportunity for us to take ownership of the space that we've got on a rates basis, if we can demonstrate that we're able to manage it and effectively, and the council see that, you know, it's hugely beneficial to us to be in that space. So yeah, I suppose that's all I wanted to say really. And again, just to say that we're appealing to your ethical side. Obviously, there's a financial benefit, but there is a real huge social benefit to having a community organisation within that vacant space, and we're a manifestation of that. So thank you, James.
I mentioned earlier on, there is a charity for everything you can possibly imagine. And through a contact, another one in this room, I came across the Medale Trust. And basically, if you have an office space and it is a hassle on your spreadsheet and you're annoyed about it or worried about it or you're too busy, I want you to hear from Sarah, because your spaces can save lives. So Sarah, if you could just take a minute and just let us know what you do and why, that would be absolutely brilliant.
I'm Sarah, I'm from the Medale Trust. I work for the Moving On project, and we are an outreach service who support potential victims, vulnerable women, and recognise victims of modern slavery and trafficking. We provide the outreach support, both practical and emotional support, and we also do a lot of work with the criminal justice system, especially when it comes to supporting the trafficking cases and sort of increasing the prosecution rates. And we also do first responding, which is also working with potential identified victims to the Home Office and get those NRMs sent to the Home Office for those to then gain that support. So that is as a brief introduction of what we do and what our charity does. We are based in London. We're a small team currently, but we cover all of the 32 boroughs in London for those individuals that do need that support. So in terms of, it's been quite an eye-opening event tonight. I'm not big on what property rates are and things are with that, but it has been really, really impactful in the work that we do with the with the office spaces that you guys are able to give charities. In terms of sort of saving lives, it literally does really impact individuals that we work with, our client base. It really has. So in terms of a positive impact of these office spaces, it provides us to have a safe space, a safe environment for both caseworking our clients who we have, but also for conducting the NRM interviews that are essentially so important to an individual, as it really is sometimes between life and death when it comes to accessing the support that they could be entitled to. So that's one element of what those office spaces are able to provide. A second element is also that we, as a charity, we really like to sort of incorporate workshops, and those workshops are really to also improve and increase confidence, self-empowerment to the client base that we're working with. And so these spaces really do provide that environment, that safe environment, and also a sense of community, because we are working with a very vulnerable client base. We're working with individuals who have essentially lost trust within the community, within the London community, but also within different countries' communities as well. So it is really about rebuilding that. Positive examples that we've had with the office space that we've been able to have access is part of the workshops that we do, specifically we really try and focus on rehabilitating sort of the employment sector of it. So with clients we run employability skills workshops. We've had really successful stories with our clients who have used the space that has been available to us in then long-term accessing employment. So that's through caseworking and workshops. And then it's a little quote that we've actually had from a client who we've recently closed, who is independently living by herself. She's got employment, and we really couldn't have really done this without the office space that we've had, but it forces our clients also to be able to access this office space. It increases their confidence to use public transport within London, to also increase their self-confidence and empowerment when it comes to socialising with others and really reintegrating in with the community. So it has been super beneficial and really impactful for the work that we do when we are supporting potential victims of exploitation and trafficking. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks very much. We really wanted to kind of hit home on the positive stuff that all the boring financial bit from earlier on is actually translates into. So, Bassam, could I hear from you on another office space, which is your one, and then we're going to move to somebody that does retail and storage, and then we can wrap this up.
Yeah, fabulous.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. So my day job, I run a refugee charity called Refugee Action Kingston. As the name suggests, it's based in Kingston, and we've been running for over 30 years. Our purpose is obviously to try and help people who are seeking asylum and seeking refuge in southwest London to be able to rebuild and get their best lives and be able to achieve their hopes and dreams. And last year we supported over 1,500, so 1,500 clients within the local area. But as anybody will tell you in the charity sector, in fact, pretty much every market at the moment, we're really struggling financially. So one of the first things I did when I took over being the director was to look at the overheads. We had quite significant overheads, and so I was able to reduce some of those overheads, and I was only able to do that because we already had a space that we'd secured through A-Stop right in the town centre. And what that meant was that instead of fundraising to pay for overheads, I could then put that money into frontline services to help the clients with the challenges that they're facing on a day-to-day basis. So we've got a space on the 5th floor of Neville House. It's great, right at the top floor of this building. The benefits for the landlord of us being there is that we're a good tenant. We identify issues within the building, whether it's leaks, safety issues, people coming in that shouldn't be, and so on, because it's quite a central town location. But the benefits for our clients are absolutely huge. So, as an organisation, we use it as office space, so with computers and laptops and so on, and a space for, as Keith said, for team meetings where we can all come together, and our trustees to meet as well. But today, for example, this morning we had we had boxes and boxes of donated clothing that were given to us by a major retailer, and we're able to do a clothing day for a number of our clients who are living on £9.50 a week. Okay, they're living on £9.50 a week, so they don't have enough money to buy new clothes, even from the Primarks or the second-hand shops that are out there. So today they're able to come in and get new wardrobes through this freezing cold weather. In addition to that, we've been running our employment hub from there, so trying to get people back on their feet into training opportunities, education, and into work. We run English classes. We're now able to run English classes for adults, which we hadn't been doing before, and we're looking to expand that going forward. And one of the other key things is that we're supporting young people, so with our supplementary school. So you might be the brightest 14 or 15-year-old in the world, but you arrive in the UK, and we've got a couple of young people in particular who weren't fortunate enough to be able to come over with their parents in that age bracket. Now, what happens as a 14 or 15-year-old coming from a different country, if your English isn't your first language, is that what most 14, 15-year-olds are looking at, looking forward to, they're not looking forward to doing it, but sitting their GCSEs. Now, they can't sit their GCSEs because they don't have good enough English. You might be incredibly bright, incredibly enterprising, have some great ideas of what you want to do in the future, but you can't sit your GCSE. So our supplementary school that runs from that space can really turn those dreams and hopes of those young people into reality. And I've got two young Eritrean lads who, again, as I say, they haven't got their parents with them. They've got really nobody to support them. That supplementary school that we run out of Neville House has really been able to transform their lives in terms of being able to improve their confidence, improve their English, and now they are able to sit some of the qualifications that they wanted to be able to take those next steps to, one wants to be a doctor, one wants to work in ICT. And so that work we wouldn't have been able to do without the space that we've got at Neville House. So huge thanks to ASTOP for what they do. And I think going back to sort of wearing both hats for a second, is that there is a massive opportunity through ethical leasing of spaces to charities. Now sometimes it's used to sort of allocate to charities and it's not actually being used, but when you've got examples like you've got the ones you've got today, it can be absolutely transformative. And so if you're a landlord sitting here today, this will probably be the best decision that you could make going forward.